guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me here once again. As you can already tell from the title of this video, I'm just going to be giving you tips on how you can travel if you're balling on a budget. Everybody needs to travel, everybody needs to see the world. I highly recommend it. You don't even have to break the bank to see like new places and gain new experiences. So I'm here to teach you how to ball on a budget. If you want to know what some tips and tricks that I use, keep on watching. Number one, you want to download so many travel apps like Skyscanner, Trivago, Mumondo. Like there's so many of them on the internet. I would leave some of them up on the screen, either here or here, and also in the description bar, so you guys could download them. Those apps help you so much. They can show you what flights are cheap for the areas where you're located at the moment. They could show you what flights are going to be decrease in rates next week. Like, so those flights are like lifesavers. You can also book your flight from any of those apps and book an accommodation. And obviously before you travel, you want to make sure that you have a place to stay, which brings me back to my next tip. Will be to use an incognito browser when you're booking either your accommodation or your flight ticket. I found this by surprise. I did not even know that it was a thing, but I recommend going incognito when you want to book your ticket, when you want to book whatever things you're booking for your travel, for your trip, because I find that if you're using a browser that is recognizable, the flight rates are different, and this is not a tip that you get everywhere. That is why you have to subscribe to my channel. The flight rates are always different, but if you go on incognito browsers, most times the flight rates are a little bit cheaper. And come on, like, who wants to save an extra $1? Because I know I want to. So yeah, always book your stuff on an incognito browser. I highly recommend staying in a hostel when you travel. Hostels, when I used to hear of hostel in the beginning, I always thought it was like all those boarding school hostels that we have back in Nigeria, but no, hostels these days are insane. Like they're even better than some hotels that I've been to, and it's crazy because it's just interesting to see how fast the world is revolving. So you want to actually stay in hostels. In hostels, you can meet people, you can make friends, you can even have like a new set of tour group. Like, it's incredible the kind of friendship and relationships that you can make in hostels. So I highly suggest to stay in hostels. They are cheap, they are comfortable, they are easily accessible. Most of them are always close to the metro station, and that is my next. Your trips, you want to avoid taxes. Taxes in Europe or countries that spend euros are literally so expensive. Like, I have no idea why they are so expensive, because it's like I can use the subway and get there in 15 minutes. Why do I have to pay this amount of money to get there in 5 minutes? Like, it's crazy how expensive taxis are in places in Europe. So you want to avoid taxes. You want to take this opportunity to lose weight. You want to walk. You guys, trust me, as a tourist, you cannot you cannot rest. Okay, that sounds very aggressive, but as a tourist, I don't see any reason why you should be resting or sleeping in your bed, because you came to have fun. So have fun. So walk, get lost, find new places, make new memories, create new adventures, enjoy yourself. Don't use taxis though. Well, if you have the money, you can use taxis, because who doesn't like comfort? But I would highly suggest that you avoid taxis if you're balling on a budget. While walking, don't forget to download Google Maps though, because if you get missing and you can no longer locate where you're coming from, I am not there. Yeah, I'm just joking, but you guys, please download Google Maps. It's amazing. It's just an insurance to know that you can always get back to where you're coming from. Try to download the offline version of the country you're going to, so that you can always have it at your disposal when Wi-Fi connection isn't available. And so for my next tip, food. So food is so important. Food is so important, even if you're traveling, even if you're staying at home. Like, it's literally so important. So you remember I said you have to stay in, you need to stay in a hostel like it's important to stay in hostels. Some of these hostels also encourage that you bring your own food. So they have kitchens where you can make your own meal. You don't have to depend on restaurants or street food or anything to eat. That is another like perks of staying in a hostel. And then if the hostel that you happen to be in does not allow you to bring your own food, for example, you can just rely on street food, and street food is so cheap. So avoid tourist traps, avoid restaurants in like overpriced areas of the city, avoid restaurants in city squares, because those places, they're going to cut off your head with price. And most of those restaurants have a policy where you have to tip for everything you eat. And I'm not saying you should not tip, but if you have limited sum of money, avoiding those places is probably in your best interest. The next tip is to start small or start short. So what that means is, if you're currently in Ukraine, for example, and your base is in Kharkov, and you've never been to Kyiv, you can go to Kyiv. You don't have, like, when people say I'm traveling, like, it doesn't have to be like a very long distance journey. It doesn't have to be like a 2-day flight journey. You can go to places that you've never been to before. I think the purpose of traveling is to actually gain like new experiences in places that you've never been, new memories and everything. So if you stay in Lagos, if you stay in Nigeria, and you were born in Lagos and you've been in Lagos for like 20 years, if you want to travel and you have just like a short budget, you can go to Abeokuta, you can go to Abuja, you can go to Jos, you can go to like places that you've never been to. The goal of traveling is just to have fun and like free your mind of all the things and stress that you've been going through in the place that you typically always are. So for the next tip, you want to fly into and depart from the same location. And what that means, if you're doing a Europe tour, for example, and you want to go to France, you want to go to Italy, you want to go to Amsterdam, you want to go to the Czech Republic. Czech Republic, is that how you pronounce it? I think Czech Republic. And you want to go to these 4 countries on a budget. I would highly suggest that if you're coming in through Amsterdam, you go out through Amsterdam and book the flight, book a round trip. That way you're saving money. We all know, like, it's a no-brainer that round trip tickets are cheaper than one-way and multi-city tickets. So you want to book like a round trip, going in and arriving and departing from the same location. So travel off season. What that means is there are times of the year when the flight rates are out of this world. So times like Christmas, summer, New Year, Valentine's Day, for some like countries and places. So these places are typically always on season. On season meaning that they're expensive to go to. Their flight tickets are going to cut off your neck, and they're just going to be bubbling with like a lot of tourists when you get to that destination. And if you're balling on a budget, I wouldn't recommend traveling to places on season. So you want to look for places that that are actually in their off season. You can go online or you can Google like this information. Like, the internet is free and it's available for everybody. So go off seasons. I'm going to leave like a little bookmark somewhere around here to show you like some off seasons for some countries, or like some continents that you can go to at different times of the year. If you're like me and you need everything in your house to travel, don't do it, fam. Like, please try as much as possible to pack light. Hopefully in the next few videos I'll try to do like a series on packing light. I'm still learning, so I'm not even in the position to even teach you guys, but please, if you can pack light, please pack light, because all the things that you think you need on a trip, you probably don't even wear half of them. So if possible, you have what you want to travel with, lay them on a flat surface and divide it into half. That is how much you're going to need on your trip. You don't have to pack your entire wardrobe to travel. You just need to like pack your basics and things that you can mix and match with. So if you're going to a hot location, you probably want to pack bikinis, crop tops. You don't like, there's no point packing a blazer, there's no point packing coats, there's no point, like, no, try as much as possible to pack lights, because most of these European flights, they actually have like cheaper rates when you have just a carry-on as opposed to a checked-in baggage. That was a mistake I made on my first trip. So try as much as possible to pack light. Trust me when I say you're not going to need everything, because you really would not need everything. So keeping in touch with family members, friends, and everybody that you're leaving behind is also essential. But how do you do this? If you're going to one city or one place, one country, getting a SIM card is probably the best alternative, is probably the best thing that you can do. But if you're traveling to multi-cities or multi-countries, I wouldn't suggest getting a SIM card, because the SIM card that works in Nigeria may not work in Ghana. The SIM card that works in Ukraine may not work in Poland. So you want to take advantage of the free Wi-Fi. There are Wi-Fi everywhere in developed countries. Like there's Wi-Fi in the city squares. There are Wi-Fi in restaurants. They even have like popular streets Wi-Fi if you travel to places like France. So you want to take advantage of this Wi-Fi. You want to always stay connected and always keep in touch. So for my next tip, you want to be flexible about your travel dates. Okay, for like right now, I know I want to travel a whole lot more in 2018, but I don't know like the particular times when I want to travel. So if an opportunity presents itself, I know that I can travel at this point in time, because I've probably saved money for this trip. And I'm just waiting for a date that is flexible with my budget and my school life, if that makes sense. So you have to be flexible about your travel dates. You don't want to be so uptight and like, oh, I must travel tomorrow, because if the flight tickets for tomorrow are so expensive, I would not buy that ticket to travel. Like, what am I going to eat when I get to the place I'm going to, if that makes sense? So you want to try to be flexible. And flexibility is everything when you're traveling, trust me, because I know we make up so many things, like so many bucket lists in our head when we are going on trips, and I just want you to know that it's not that deep. Trust me, it is not that deep. So moving on to the next tip, it will be to ditch all your bucket list. Ditch everything, all the mountains you want to climb, all the pools you want to dive in, all the waterfalls, everything. Like, ditch everything, go there and have no expectations, because travel has a way of humbling you and making you realize that you're just like this tiny in the world. It's incredible. I don't say that in a negative way. It's something that's supposed to be really, really amazing. So if you want to have the best experiences on any of your trips or any of your forthcoming trips, I highly suggest that you ditch all the bucket list. Just go and have fun. Like, just free your mind to do. You have to research where you're going to. So I would not go to a place that is going through it like a terrorist crisis. No, that is not going to happen. So please research where you're going to before you try to like make a trip. We only have one life to live, but while we are living and having fun, we also want to be safe. And as much as God protects and He's always there for us, you also want to use your sense. So research the places you're going to, research fun things that you can even do, like if you're solo traveling, for example. And I highly recommend solo traveling, by the way. So research the places you want to go to, research what you want to do, like follow your favorite travel blogs, your favorite Instagram accounts that travel all the time. That way, it's a great way of experiencing the country before you actually experience it. So research and Instagram, also travel blogs. Travel blogs are like my favorite things to read these days and watch. I love those travel accounts because it's just like, okay, right now I cannot afford to go to this place, but I can go with you. Speaking of going with me, I have my Paris vlog coming after this video, so please subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And the last and final tip is to stay open-minded. Create new experiences, create new adventures, have fun, live your life, girl and boys, if you're watching. And yeah, we've come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share. If you have tips that I probably missed, please leave it down below, as I would like to learn from you guys. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys. Bring out your inner adventure. And please don't forget forget to subscribe, like, comment, and tell me what trips or what tips or tricks you guys have up your sleeves for budget friendly